Hi everybody, thanks for stopping by. My name's FM18, and you're watching the Dafuge Challenge, episode 81, with Enfield Town FC. I find it interesting that with so much red in the schedule, I've gotten job interview requests from 4 Premier League teams this season. Not when I'm winning 20 games, or rather, not when I'm not losing 20 plus games, not when I'm taking a team that's picked to finish 24th in League One to the top of the table and keeping them there most of the season. No, my team is fighting relegation, and somehow that makes me a target for Premier League coaching. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Our play doesn't make a lot of sense to me, to be honest with you. After losing to Cardiff and Luton Town, we were home against Leeds United. Matthew Cook had a brace of goals in the 52nd and 56th minutes. Jay Fulton had a 5th minute goal for Leeds United. Angel Romero had a brace of goals in the 18th and 48th minute, essentially, the 45th plus 3rd minute before halftime. Phil Colwell went out injured in the 53rd minute with a knee injury. He was out for 4 weeks. And the defense was they just weren't good enough. Colwell was on a 6-8 before he got injured, but it wasn't a good 6-8. Lee had a subpar game. Edwards had a subpar game. We should have gotten more from this. And this is the kicker here. Then came this stretch of games. Hull, Aston Villa, Millwall, and Sheffield United. In the space of 9... Hold on just a second here. Yeah, Hull, Aston Villa, Millwall, Sheffield United. 4 games in 7 days. Someone at the FA needs to be put up against a wall and shot for this. Maybe some of it is my fault. I tend to run a pretty small squad. This is my senior squad. 28 players. Not a lot of space for rotation in there, especially when, at one point in time, 5 of these guys were out injured for multiple weeks. We had a good game against Hull. Yari had a brace of goals, 15th and 62nd minute. Mungo Bridge had a 36-minute goal. Ennis broke up the clean sheet with a 6th-minute goal for Hull. We were better than them technically. 14 shots, 10 on target. Slight dispossession advantage, but not enough to be worried about. The defense was good. The midfield was great. The strikers up top were very, very good. They were okay, but they had a couple players that really didn't help them. Warren especially just got abused a couple of times. Next up came Aston Villa. And we reverted. We had a bad game defensively. We couldn't get anything going offensively. Malcolm Lovett had a 12th minute goal for Villa. Alex Byrne had a 58th minute goal. John Duffy's 92nd minute goal was salt on the wound, if I'm being honest. Matthew Cook had a really nice 29th minute goal. Then came our game against Millwall at home. We pulled this one out. There's no other way to put it. Millwall had 21 shots, 9 on target. We had 11 shots, 3 on target. I went back to the 4-3-3 for this game, simply because of injuries more than anything else. Denny Ings had a 70th minute goal for Millwall. Yari had an 82nd minute penalty kick that was a little bit controversial, to be honest with you. I don't know that the penalty should have been awarded, but it was awarded, and we scraped the draw. Then came the Sheffield United game that I'm going to harp on the rest of the season and maybe well into next season. We got out to an early lead. Mungo Bridge had a 5th-minute goal. Stephen Leake equalized in the 38th minute. We scored a 63rd-minute goal. And Collie Woodrow had a shot that was just... It was 2 minutes left in the game. It was a long pass, a volley, centered in. There were 4 Enfield players surrounding him. Somehow, he managed to leap above them all and hit probably one of the weakest headers I've seen just outside a diving ward's fingers and scored the equalizer. The only thing that has been worse this season was this freaking 95th minute goal by Ashley Pierce at Luton Town. Those two are going to contend for my... Well, this one so far takes my WTF moment for the season. Because of the other teams around us, we've fallen into the relegation zone, 22nd with 24 points in 27 games played, 3 points off the Kev ratio. The other thing I've been looking at is... I just don't know what other changes I can make to the club. I mean, I'm happy with the vast majority of the players on my club. I'd be happier if they stayed healthy. We have made a couple of moves. Simon Constable comes in on a free. 22 years old, 2.5-star current ability, 4-star potential ability, plays defensive left fullback, which I was really looking for. He came in because Bamba and McNally were both injured, and although Brown can play left back, he does not play it all that well. Constable's come in on a backup contract, but chances are, especially with Bamba just not staying healthy and the fact that he's fallen a 0.5 star, probably due to injury, I don't know how long I'm going to keep him. Constable comes from the Leeds United system, then bounced around the National League on loan for a while before they let him go. He's had 4 games for us. He's done an okay job. Jimmy Whitehead, Callum Johnson, Doug Foster, Graham Hartland, and Ryan Lynch are all under 18 players that my general manager found out on freeze. One of the problems I ran into, and I didn't realize this, was on my under 18 team, because my youth intakes have just been so freaking horrible. Anytime I have a player eligible for a professional contract, I let him go. And I was looking at my under 18 games, and we were doing really, really well until we got to the FA Cup 3rd round game when we lost. And that was because you can't start anybody over 18 in those games. At least it's what I'm thinking. To be honest, I haven't really looked that much into it. It's probably why I have all these grade players. And I was looking at it going, how on earth can I be this successful in my under 18s and then get stomped 3-0 by the Rochdale under 18s, realized what was going on, realized how thin my depth was. I didn't want to spend time scouting for him. I went to my general manager and said, hey, find me some youth players for the under 18 team. That's who we found. The nice thing is, there's actually some potential there. Foster's got 4-star potential ability. Whitehead's 3.5-star potential ability. Johnson's 3.5-star potential ability. They may never see it. They may never see it here. But I brought him in on freeze. Maybe I can turn around and sell him for a little bit of money. And then, due to injury concerns, which I'll get to in a minute, we had to go out and look for help at defensive center back, and we found Nico Schlotterbeck from Germany. This is someone my general manager found. 3-star current ability, 3-star potential ability, 27 years old, comes to us from lower division German football, but solid player, as good as Jack Lee, is very good depth. He's here on a first-team contract. He will get a lot of first-team playing time. One of the things I've been able to do, although it hasn't helped me keep the team healthy, is rotate my strikers, rotate my midfielders, and rotate my center backs and all my defensive back line players, to be honest, so that they're not tired out. I think that came in handy when we had that stretch of 4 games in 7 days. Didn't show in the results, but no one got really injured then. December was pretty bad for us injury-wise. Jones was out for a week. McNally is out 4 weeks with a twisted ankle. Barry Cousins, a thigh strain, kept him out for 3 weeks. Skip had a pulled hamstring and was out for a couple of days. Colwell pulled some ankle ligaments. He's out for 2 weeks. Matthew Cook, a bruised knee, out for a couple of days. So today we are playing Notts County, and then we are playing Fulham. So I'm going to set the best 11 for Notts County, and we will come back with that game in just a bit. Well, today we are playing our 4-3-3. Ward and goal, Constable at the defensive left back, Lee and Schlotterbeck in the center, with Colwell at the defensive right, Collins, Knight, and Skip as the midfield 3, behind Bridge, Yari, and Cook up top as the strikers. Now we are moving right to left in the away yellows. Colwell with the throw-in to Cook, taps it over to Collins. He sends it back to Colwell, who centers it to Schlotterbeck, who sends it forward, bounces off a Turnbull and goes right to Cooper from Notts County. Cooper's ball goes right to Colwell, who kicks it back to Notts County. Now Murray has it in the center. He sends it to Taylor. Constable steps in front of it, sends it to Yari. Nice first touch. Cook breaking through, crosses it in, Bridges there, and he buries it in the left corner of the net for the 1-0 lead. Ran out of breath there. Oh, it was a nice first touch by Yari. Nice header by Mungo. Collins sends the ball up. Now, Notts County got it back, but it's bouncing back and forth between the teams. Now Cook has it into the box, centers it to Yari, scores. Oh, jeez. Can't keep up with how fast the ball is moving sometimes. It's a nice assist by Cook. 30 minutes in, ahead 2-0, 6 shots, 2 on target. Team shape's looking really, really good. Corner kick in. Now, Jernan has it for Notts County. Sends it up to Murray. Long pass. Knocked away. Lee has it. Schlotterbeck sends it back to Ward. Long kick towards Bridge. Well, Griffiths has the ball. Oh, Bridge dispossesses him. Crosses it to Yari. Nice save by Cooper. Now, Mungo's cross goes nowhere. Cook tries to run it down, but Dawes kicks it out of bounds. Ward with the kick. Out to Colwell. Long pass into space. Murray gets behind the line, and his kick goes wide left. Coming up on halftime. We've been really good. Only 1 shot from outside the box. 10 shots, 3 on target. Slight dispossession. Well, Notts County has a slight possession advantage, but they haven't been able to do anything with it. They've had 7 shots, none on target. Coming up on 60 minutes. Notts County still has not had a shot on target. Now, Jones is going to replace Colwell because I don't want to risk the yellow. Archer's going to come on for Knight, who's not having the best game, but I also want to keep him healthy. Jones on the throw, into Archer, back to Jones, centers it to Collins, to Skip, bounces out of the crowd, Bridge runs it down. Out to Jones on the right again, who centers it into Jari, but he can't control it. Collins bounces up Skip with a nice long shot there. Well done. Only 15 shots, 6 on target for us. Tilley with the throw in for Notts County. Doherty back to Tilley. Knocked out. Jones. Long pass. But Turnbull's there for Notts County. Taylor sends it up to Thomas, who runs it down. Crosses it into Tilley. And he pushes it above the crossbar. Corner kick knocked away. Skip has it. Passes up to Bridge, but Bridge couldn't control it and went out of bounds. That was interesting. Now, 4 minutes extra time coming up to the end of the match. Yari dispossessed by Turnbull. Sends it back to Cooper, who kicks it forward, but Lee is there. Taps up to Collins, to Archer, to Bridge, to Skip, to Cook, who sends it out to Jones on the right. Back to Cook, crosses it in. And Bridge with a very nice goal. Can we keep the clean sheet? Now Bridges' last minute shot is turned aside, and that is the game. Well, it's against a League Two side, but a win is a win. And we received £73,080 for the win. Always nice. Well, this is going to be an interesting game. We have drawn Swansea in the 4th round of the FA Cup. We're the host team, so they are coming to Enfield Town Stadium. They're currently 18th in the Premier League. Maybe we can pull what we did against West Ham last year, this year in Swansea. Remains to be seen. As it stands, we got Fulham coming up next. They're currently 2nd in the league, and they also beat us 6-2 earlier in the season. So, anything can happen. I'm going to move ahead to set up my best 11 for that, and we will come back with that game in just a bit. Well, we are playing our 4-3-3 against Fulham today. War in goal. Constable, Lee, McNally, and Colwell as the defensive back 4. Collins, Knight, and Skip as the midfield 3. Bridge, Yari, and Cook up top as the strikers. Cousins injured himself in training. He's out the next 3 to 4 weeks. Can't catch a break sometimes. Lee to Skip to Knight. To Yari, but his pass is errant, knocked out by Fulham. White has it now. Oh, dispossessed. Bridge sends it up to Yari. Cross it to Cook. Oh, how is that not a goal? It literally bounced off the inside of the net. Skip with the interception to Cook. Now his cross caroms around, but it ends up going to Knight, who sends it up to Yari. Bridge has it now. To Collins, to Knight. To Constable, who tries setting it in, but it's knocked out again. Collins has it, back to Constable. To Knight, to Skip. Into Yari, and he scores. Well done. Can I honestly say this is something I don't think we've had against Fulham this season, a lead. Nice, first touch there. Good goal. Good with the throw for Fulham. Centered to Lewis, up to Bell. To Vash, McNally knocks away. Lewis sends it out to Murphy on the left, though. He centers it in, knocked out, but Brownhill has it at the top of the box to Watkins. Oh, nice save by Ward. Centered in again. Bell is there. Ward can't stop that. And they equalize about 5 minutes later. Well, coming up on a half hour, Fulham has definitely been better from a technical point of view. 8 shots, 6 on target. We're holding our own so far. Good with the throw-in for Fulham. Oh, dispossessed. Yari sends it up to Cook. Holds the ball up, centers it back to Yari. Up to Bridge, and his shot is just wide left. Skip the top of the box. Oh, takes a long shot, but Watson punches it over the crossbar. Collins with a corner kick. Centers it back in. Lee to McNully to Knight. Oh, ping-pongs around and out of bounds eventually. Coming up on halftime. Good with the throw-in for Fulham. Passes it up to White. Centers it to Bell. Oh, Constable steps in front of the ball. Kicks it back to Ward. Constable. Collins has it now. He sends it up to Bridge. To Yari. Back to Bridge. Out to Cook on the right. He crosses it in. Yari is fouled. And it should be his penalty kick. Nice. Just before the half, we go up 2-1. Yari with the brace. Reese Bell with the goal. We've had 11 shots, 7 on target. That's pretty good. 54% possession against the second team in the league. Vash throwing, but Constable steps in front of it, but he's dispossessed. Watkins almost loses the ball. Now White has it for Fulham. Bell. How did he score that? His second goal of the game. Ward made an effort. Give him credit for that. Well, we're going to bring Schlotterbeck on for McNally. And Brown on for Constable. Corner kick for Fulham. Lewis. Ball's knocked away, but Vivash has it. Now Lewis has it on the right. Oh, good God, guys. He just ran right through them like they weren't even there. Bell gets behind the line again. Good grief. Lewis to White. Nice centering pass. Ward didn't even really try. He's probably just as shocked as I was at how bad our defense was there. Well, we've hung in with them pretty well. It's just more mental lapses on the defensive back line. Page to Murphy, to White. Back out to Murphy. Kicked away. Cook up to Yari. Taps up to Bridge in open space. He gets by one defender, centers it. Cook scores. 5 minutes of extra time. Can we get another goal? It's a good move by Mungo to get around the one defender. And 4 Enfield volleys. 4 Enfield jerseys in the area. Now White got behind the defense. He centers it into Bell, who scores, puts the game out of reach. On the ensuing kickoff, no less. Lee to Brown, to Collins, to Yari, up to Skip, and Hammond steps in front of his pass, sends it up to White. To Bell, back to White, to Bell, who's behind the defense again, but Ward makes the stop. White on the left side, challenged, dispossessed, finally by Cole. Schlotterbeck has it, and that is the game. 18 shots, 9 on target for us, 23 shots, 13 on target for them. Bell had 4 goals. I like to say we gave him a game this time, but that's just not true. And we're 4 points. We really need to step it up. And they moved up to first place with that win, too. Okay, well, we will come back for Swansea QPR. Well, we have one of our best games of the season, 4-0 shutout against Notts County, a League 2 team, but still, it's a 4-0 shutout. And the first half of the Fulham game was nice. We gave them a game. And then the second half, they remembered they were Fulham. They were a lot better than us, and they... that was horrible. There's just... I got to figure out these defensive problems. I don't think it's the tactic. I mean, every time it seems I switch up the tactic, even just a little bit, it does okay for a game, and then we stink even worse the next few games. The 3-4-3 did well for us early on until my central defenders were just not good enough for the level of competition. The 4-3-3 is a solid tactic. It worked for us in League 2. It worked for us in League 1. And when it works for us in the Championship, it works really well. It's a defensive problem, which means it's a personnel problem. Maybe it's bias confirmation. Maybe I'm just too enamored with my own players to admit how weak they are in certain places, and I really need to upgrade the team. The problem is finances more than anything else, which means a lot of scouting for players willing to come in on frees and relying on loans more often. We're in a relegation fight. I wanted to avoid that, but Custer had a plan too. We'll get ourselves right, or we'll be back down in League 1. That's just the way it is. If you liked what you've seen and heard, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content. Questions, criticisms, comments, leave them down below. I'll answer those as fast as I can. My name's FM18. I thank you for watching.